that will become a part of you, where you're going to be re-identifying yourself, right? What you're going to realize is the insecurities, the doubts, the fears, and the flaws, and the idea of how you see yourself will never be from the adult you. It will always be from the child you, right? It would always be from the child you. If you have not done your work on yourself, then the person that is responding on your behalf, whenever they're upset, whenever they're making fearful decisions and all that, will always be the unhealed child in you. It will always be the unhealed child in you. Whenever you are, and you have not done the work on yourself and all of that, it will always be the unhealed child in you that will always be speaking. When you understand the average adult that is walking around here is an unhealed child that ain't revisit their past to clear it up and all that, right? What you got to be very, very, very careful of is when you go out here and you begin to self-talk yourself and you talk negative to yourself. If you call yourself stupid, if you speak negative about yourself, if you don't appreciate who you are and all of this other stuff, I'm going to give you a heads up. You are not talking to the adult you when you say that. You're talking to that unhealed child that you have not gave the opportunity to heal yet. Right? You understand? I want you to imagine this. Every negative talk that you have ever said about yourself, everything that you have ever thought negative about yourself, every diss that you have ever said about yourself, I want you to imagine there's a little girl or a little boy in you that is walking up to you, and that is your child. Imagine your child is the unhealed version of you, the younger version of you, and it walks up to you and say, "Mommy or Daddy, I'm not worth nothing. I feel abandoned. I'm not hitting on nothing." And you say, "It ain't even that serious. Move. Get out my face. Move. What's up with it, dog? Get out my face. Move. It ain't that serious. Get away from me." Every time you dismiss the unhealed version of yourself. What's up, little bro? Every time you dismiss the unhealed version of yourself, it is equivalent to you telling your child that is walking up to you who feels like you, and you dismiss it and diss it when it's hurt. That's what you're doing to yourself when you negatively talk to yourself. You're speaking bad and ill will of the child in you. If your child came up to you and said, "I don't feel like people love me. I don't feel like I love myself. I don't feel like nobody's there for me," or whatever the case may be, what are you going to say to that child? Are you going to tell that child to get out my face? Or are you going to tell that child, it ain't that serious? What are you going to tell that child? And whatever you will tell that child is the thing that you need to be telling yourself whenever your negative talks come up, because that is that child speaking. Hey, what's going on? That's that child speaking. When you have negative thoughts and negative ideas about yourself and you putting yourself down, you are talking to that child. That child is saying that stuff. And when you dismiss you and put you to the side, you are not accepting that little boy or little girl that was wounded by life. You're doing the very same thing to them that life has done to them too. So imagine that child walking up to you and coming to you and saying, "Mommy, Daddy, I don't feel worthy. I feel abandoned," and all this. And you say, "Get out my face," and you dismiss it. Imagine you doing that to that child. Imagine that. And if you wouldn't do that to your child, then why on God's green, beautiful earth would you do that to your damn self? Because that's who you talking to. What's going on? You are talking to that child in you when you are negatively talking about yourself and disrespecting yourself and dismissing yourself and all.